Hello Cancers, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for the week of June 15th to the 21st. Now I have two cards that flew out while I was shuffling. The first one is the Hangman in the upright position, Crossing that is the King of Cups. Now the Hangman is indicative of a period of waiting in suspension, okay? So it's kind of like the period of limbo, not knowing where to go, not knowing like where you've been, and kind of like deciding on your next step, okay? In another way, this can manifest itself in not knowing where you stand with other people. And another interpretation of that as well is kind of like shifting your paradigm, seeing things from a different perspective, from a different vantage point, but also incorporating the other person's reality, their perspective into the way you look at the world. Because I do feel in general that is going to give you a more holistic approach, a more holistic view of a situation, so that you can decide on what you need to do to move forward, okay? So as a water sign, I do feel that the ability to make decision might be slow for you guys. You're not as decisive and you're hesitant about, whether or not you are making the right choice. Just keep in mind that this is your energy crossing it. This is a water sign, male or female. I do feel that this is you're crossing your whole thinking process, mainly because you are very emotionally invested in the outcome of this next venture in your life, okay? You're kind of like very excited, you're very like emotionally like worked up, and you're very it's kind of like all your eggs are in one basket, so you have only one shot, okay? It's a very fatalistic view of this situation, so just be very careful about this. In the past, we have the Seven of Coins. So the Seven of Coins is also the card of the harvest. And what I am sensing here is that this is a love-related situation for a lot of you. You had a very, very stable, a very fulfilling, and a very balanced relationship. It was like it's built on mutual respect and also like a very firm foundation. It's built on affection, okay? I wouldn't say it's love in the sense that like, the Ace of Cups is indicative of true love. This one is more on affection, and you're kind of like searching the world over to find this. So this is in the past situation, and it built you up, it restored you, it made you into a really good person. And what's coming in then is the Ten of Swords, in which the other person is no longer there for you. So I do feel that this sense of betrayal has triggered something within you, and you can't really accept the reality of what happened between you and the other party. You feel very betrayed, but at the same time, they feel also very betrayed. Because I do feel that this is, mutual advancement, two people working towards a common goal, and things are paying off, okay? And then at the payoff point, one party feels betrayed by another, and I would say, honestly, take some time off and look at things from the other person's point of view, okay? If you are a Cancer man in a relationship with a woman, I do feel that she herself feels very betrayed as well. If you are a Cancer woman, the other party that you're dealing with is you're not able to get over them. You're not able to kind of come to terms with what happened, and you're kind of like racking your brain trying to figure out in general like what the hell happened, so it's a really difficult process of coming to terms with this. And because of it, you might be tempted to like revisit the situation with another person, but I don't feel that's going to be to your benefit, okay? Because if you just take some time off to really reflect on this situation, you're going to have all the answers you need. There's no need to go back to that situation. But if you want to, just offer an apology without strings attached. So for example, a lot of people, they want to apologize because they want the other person to forgive them and get back together. I don't feel this is a situation that can be rekindled. It can be reconciled, but then you both have to go your separate ways. Because there's still a lot of like, I do feel because it's such a great relationship, it ended like this, it should be left behind. I do feel that both parties have learned their, whatever it is that they need to learn from one another. So the dissolution of the relationship is meant to be, so that you can find other people. So what's crowning you here is the Queen of Wands. I look at this as like the fairy godmother, the getting the emotional, spiritual support from a source outside of yourself, so that you have enough I guess, substance to grow and foster. So what's crowning you here is, in general, a lot of you are getting a lot of good insights from those around you, are getting a lot of good support for you to get through this very difficult emotional experience, okay? And the only thing I would say is, because the Hangman is at the heart of the reading, other people can give you the emotional support when it comes to advice, when it comes to like figuring out what happened in the relationship. You're the only one in the relationship aside from the other person, so you can't really offer people, you can't really ask people for advice who are not in the relationship, okay? Another thing I would say too is, first of all, I do sense that they're definitely, despite this situation in which both parties contributed equally, okay? People contributed different ways. So for example, one party can say that, they were the breadwinner, therefore they contributed a lot, whereas the other person didn't work, stayed home, but took care of the household. So if you look at things from both parties' perspective, you're going to realize that they're arguing about very different things, okay? So while, making money in the public sphere is valuable in itself, housework itself, you have to do the housework in order to sustain yourself. So if you're not there doing the work and your partner is doing it, it's not fair to say that they didn't contribute, okay? So there is a discrepancy between what's valuable, what's meaningful, and who's doing what. So there is definitely a perception that one party is giving a lot more than the other. I do feel that one person is emotionally invested, was very emotionally invested in the relationship, and without their nurturance, without their thoughtfulness, you wouldn't be able to thrive, and vice versa. So for example, if you're the one doing all the emotional work in that relationship to allow the other person to thrive, you're going to feel very resentful when they don't really acknowledge you for it. So if you provided the firm foundation for them, and once they became financially independent, they leave you behind, for example, that can create a lot of hostility. So in this situation itself, I do feel that there's still a great deal of affection, but this is not a situation that can be rekindled in general, because there's still issues. So, okay, let me pull out the rest of the cards. Okay, so at the heart of the matter here is that both parties are clinging on to their point of view very, very tightly, okay? So it's a tug of war between two very, very strong, very opinionated entity. So I do sense there is, in general, hostility, but you care about the other person. You care about them on a human level. So you don't really want to, have this blowout, massive, airing out the dirty laundry in public type of deal, even though you want answers. But I do feel that a little bit of introspection, putting yourself in the other the other party that's involved, putting yourselves in their shoes, will allow you to reach a conclusion about what really happened, who contributed what, because in the greater scheme of things, it is a relationship built on mutual affection, mutual love, and respect. And I would say love very loosely, because you have a heart here, but I do feel that it's affection. It's like the Two of Cups, in which people care about one another, and the relationship itself, or whatever it was, a project that was established, was very solid because both sides were able to meet each other halfway. However, when the relationship started going downhill, then it's kind of like, I did this, you never gave me this, and this tug of war between very strong, opinionated people, and they're not willing to see outside of themselves. So changing your perspective and looking outside of the relationship would be very important for you. A lot of you are also that's not your main motivation right now, because the advice here is that There will be other fishes in the sea, okay? And honestly, this is a very finance related card. So I do feel in general, a lot of you are kind of like bogged down with two things. First of all, this relationship situation, but what's overriding it as well is like on the work front, especially your money making endeavors. So this is something that will occupy your time and a lot of your mind. It's going to be on your mind, and you have to kind of like figure out how to do this, how to fix the situation. So in the past too, there were financial concerns, and it's preventing you from pursuing life. It's preventing you from living the life that you want, okay? And just know that whatever this situation is, there are going to be other opportunities raining down on you, or just, falling on your lap. So not to worry. If this is a relationship, it means that there will be other fishes in the sea. So, just that expression itself. Things will fall from the sky. And it's sort of like one of those things that you can't really avoid because it's meant for you. It's kind of karmic. And it's just going to show itself when you least expect it. You have the Knight of Cups in, I'm sorry, this is the Knight of Swords in your external environment position. So a lot of you might be involved with an air sign, somebody who is a little bit impulsive, somebody who, they're kind of like swept up in the moment and they don't really plan things out very well. So they go charging into battle without the proper armor, okay? So knights are usually like fighters. He has a sword, but he has no like protection. So it's somebody who is rash, who is impulsive, who comes and goes, who might seem very flaky, but I do feel this person has a good heart and they do want, the best for you and themselves. So this is a good energy, even though he's a little hot-headed and impulsive. The Knight of Wands, the fire sign, is a little more flaky. This person is dependable, but they do, jump the gun a little too often. So a lot of you too might be dealing with a fire sign just because there's a fiery energy coming from this card as well. So air or fire, okay? And that's what's coming in for you. If you're looking like for love and things like that, there is this entity coming in. Just be careful because they are very impulsive. As for your hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Swords. And you're hoping that, in general, that there is going to be a communication breakthrough, okay? So you're hoping that, this taking some time off to yourself and kind of like putting yourself in other people's shoes, seeing things from a different perspective, trying to replay the whole incident in your mind. You're hoping that a little bit more clarity will come into the picture for you, which is the right way to approach this. So you are actually very mature in this regards. As for the outcome, you have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Coins, excuse me. So this is, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you have the image of, all those little pentacles, the old man and the couple with their kid and the two dogs. This is like total completion of emotional fulfillment at the same time. And it's a card of like family stability, home stability, and also happiness in general, success and happiness, okay? It's kind of like having money rain down from the sky. And you have a lot of cards indicative of like coins and pentacles. So I do feel in general there is going to be a breakthrough. There is going to be a situation in which you have a chance to like start fresh, okay? So this situation, like I said, there's a lot of love involved, but there's still a lot of resentment. And no matter what you had in the past, it doesn't negate what happened now, which is that, somebody promised a lot more than they could deliver. And because of it, it's going to be very difficult for you to pursue this. So you have to start with new energies. You have to start with new projects in order for you to achieve the happiness that you feel you deserve and that you work really hard for. And another aspect of this is the High Priestess. And in the reverse position. So this is telling me in general that regardless of this emotional tie you have with the previous person, I do feel that information is not going to be forthcoming just yet, okay? This can change in the future. However, despite not having all the information that you need to move forward with your life. I do sense that in the future, this will be forthcoming to you when all the hostility, when everything starts to die down, and you can approach one another in a more calm, a more relaxed manner, and kind of hash out what exactly went wrong, okay? The time for this is not now. So I would say like around September, around like August 21st, September 21st, or even like the best time would be the beginning of September, when when the sun is in the sign of Virgo, because Virgos are very good problem solvers. So in general, during an Earth cycle, our emotional responses are a little more like um, practical. So we're going to be less emotional. We're going to be more methodical. So that would be the best time for you to seek the answer from the other party that you need to, okay? But in general, I feel like this is a fresh wound, and it needs to heal first in order for anything good to come out of it, okay? So for those of you dealing with this, just know that there are other things that the universe in general wants you to focus on right now, which is that, getting your life together, getting your financial situation in order, and focusing on what you need to do to move forward, rather than it's not too much, it's not too like relationship oriented. So at the same time, for those of you who have started dating somebody before the Mercury retrograde period, so like the beginning of May, I do feel that you're going to hit some stumbling blocks. So a new cycle is going to start for you, but I do feel that if it's people from the past, it's going to be a little bit problematic to move forward into the future, okay? Not all of you, but I do feel if there are like residual problems, it's causing like a lot of resentment and hostility between you and a love relationship partner. So just be very careful about that. Aim for, in seeing things from the other party's point of view. At the same time, there is a very strong focus on your financial situation right now. So reap the benefits of that before, and just focus your life on that for right now, because the other aspects of your life seems to be kind of blurry and out of focus, okay? And clarity will come in September. I'm sensing September, so more stable energy will come for you to hash it out, okay? In general, have a very good weekend. Focus on your income generating activities for this week, and that's where you're supposed to be, okay? So I hope that the reading has been helpful. Thanks for watching.